All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to an NFL video, something we haven't done all year. I'm not doing the week recaps this season because it's too much getting a full video out every week uh, in the middle of the week before, whatever the Thursday night game. It's too much, so I'm not going to do it. So, I want to do instead like weekly power rankings where it's a lot more off the cuff kind of discussion. But I didn't do it, and I didn't do it for the first week. And I thought, well, let's just wait it out a bit until we can tell truly where everyone is position wise, and pretty much every team except for two has played 5 games. I'm recording this on Friday. Thursday Night Football was Washington beating the Bears. Or sorry, God damn it. The weekly recap videos are done, so I don't have to do the dumb Bears thing. Okay, I'm not doing it. Um, but I think we're at a good position to start judging the quality of these teams and get a general sense at their outcome. So that's what we're going to do. It's also going to be separated into tier lists. I'll reveal the tiers as we go. Starting off, we got the sad tier. These are teams where I don't really see a positive outcome out of them. It's rough. It's rough. These teams are probably the three most likely to get the first overall pick. There are also three teams that are in desperate need of a quarterback. Starting off, number 32 on our list is the Carolina Panthers. Let's look up Panthers. Let's get the schedule going. Teams. But yeah, they've right after getting their shit kicked in by the by the San Francisco 49ers. That was a rough game. They fired Matt Rule, their head coach, which about damn time. Starting off the season with a close loss to the Browns, and then dropping to the Giants, beating the Saints, but losing to Cardinals and 49ers. Haven't scored above 25 points. Not good. Baker Mayfield just isn't. He isn't the guy. I gave him a lot of leniency because we all felt bad for him with the whole Browns situation. But yeah, he's still not good. He's still not a very good NFL quarterback. First team of the season to fire their head coach. That's usually a pretty bad sign. Their offense is just atrocious, and they have weapons, although they pretty much all want to leave, which makes sense. DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, of course, Christian McCaffrey. And the defense, there's some young pieces. It's just I feel like we've been saying this about the Panthers for maybe this is the third season in a row where we're like, oh, they're still rebuilding, but they got some pieces. But one of these seasons, they have to, make the jump. They can't just mellow at the bottom of the league this whole time, and I'm done making excuses for them. So they're going to be my number 32 team. Number 31, the Bears. Just being in the sad tier since 1920. The Bears, again, very similar situation to the Panthers. They just don't have a quarterback. Justin Fields doesn't seem like the guy, and I'll be fair with him because I don't think he has yet to start a full season of games, but it's not looking good for him. In that Thursday night game against Washington, he showed some flashes of him escaping the pocket and making plays, but still, just not what you want out of an NFL quarterback so far this season. And he is getting killed behind that offensive line. Might be the worst offensive line in all of football. The defense not as dominant as it usually as we expect this Bears team to be, but still pretty solid. It's been enough to get them a few wins. They're 2-3, 2-4, or they might be. I don't actually know. Shit, how many games have we played again? Where are they? Where are they? Are they not? Bears are 2-4. So yeah, a good win against the Niners. I believe that was week 1, but it's kind of clear that that was probably a fluke. And the Bears, yeah, not great weapons. I mean, Darnell Mooney and St. Brown are solid pieces, but not necessarily elite. David Montgomery is great, but again, he's running behind that terrible offensive line, so I don't know how far the rushing game will get for them. And overall, again, just a bleak future for the Bears. Next up, number 30 is going to be the Houston Texans, the last team in this initial category. Houston, we all kind of expected this from them. We didn't expect much. I believe Derek Stingley Jr. has been playing pretty solid, their first round cornerback. But yeah, not much to say here. This is just a sad and just bad NFL team. You can pretty much count them out in every game they play, following not really any positives. That defense is bad. Offense just can't get off the ground. Dameon Pierce, I guess, is the one positive of the team. Just he's been a great rookie. So for a rebuilding year, you're seeing what you want to see with some of the young pieces playing well. But still, they're going to be number 30. Moving up, we're actually going to move up a tier. We're past sad, and we're going into trying really hard. Because gosh darn it, these teams, they're doing their best. Not good. In fact, they're quite bad, but trying really hard. Bam. Washington is coming in at number 29. They might be able to move up a few slots, but I think a lot of this has to do with just spite. For having to watch that terrible Thursday Night Football game. They win 12-9. I think it was 12-9. No, it was 12-10? No, because they went for the Bears went for the 2-point conversion and didn't work out. Yeah, Carson Wentz, we all know he's not the answer. This defense has really taken a step down from only a few years ago, being able to carry the team into the playoffs. Again, there are some positives. I like the running backs, although I think Antonio Gibson is out. And J.D. McKissick might also be out. When you have Kurt Samuel and Terry McLaurin, it's not too hard to have a good offense. The rookie wide receiver is also doing great for them. So, have some pieces, and they show some flashes, but if it comes down to a close game, usually Carson Wentz, he doesn't do too well. Actually, because that Titans game, they were able to hang on against the Titans, I'm going to make a game time decision. I'm going to move them up to 28. So the new 29 spot goes to the Atlanta Falcons. Listen, they got robbed from the Bucs. They should have won that game, but there's a terrible officiating that went into that one. But even if they do win that game, sure, that's a good sign. But again, just not a whole lot to this team. The coaching just can't figure out how to use Kyle Pitts, which is a crazy statement. Defense is still bad, and it's same old Falcons. They're always blowing leads. Not a threat, really. the fact that they've lucked their way into 2 wins is kind of crazy. But I don't expect them to get many more. Next up, coming at 27, the Detroit Lions. We all want this team to do well. We all like Dan Campbell, but can he actually coach? I'm not sure. Got completely blown out by Belichick and the Patriots. Got that one win against Washington. Lost to the Seahawks in a very winnable game. They don't have a defense. That's the main problem. I think they might have the worst defense in the NFL. We rarely want to see Lions get better, but they just haven't really. Jared Goff is fine. Amon-Ra St. Brown and DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson. This offense can be deadly, but even when it is and they're popping off with like 30 or 40 points a game, their defense just ruins it for them. So until they can actually prove to me that they can win the big games, they're going to chill here at number 27. Number 26 is going to be the team that beat them, New England Patriots. It's a Belichick team, so it's never going to be bottom 5. Because they just play smart, situational football, well-coached defense, but simply they don't have the star power. Mac Jones, even though he's injured, when he comes back, I still don't think he's really the guy. They go out in free agency, and they sign all these big names, and just none of them have really come through that much. Devontae Parker's been having a solid season, but, you think Jacoby Myers, you think Nelson Aguilar, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith. This offense just ain't it, Chief, So they round out the bottom 7 in the trying really hard tier. Now, the next 2 tiers, we're still keeping our way moving up, but they provide some context. So, first up, there's the are they bad tier. We'll get to that in a sec. And then the other one is, they're bad. We can comfortably say that these teams are not very good. But they're definitely not fighting in that super bottom tier of the NFL. Starting off, number 24, is gonna be the this is 25. Pittsburgh Steelers. This offense, man. This defense. I think the secondary outside the Bills game has been playing pretty well. Minka's still one of the best safeties in the league. I think it's their rookie cornerback. He's been playing well. But this offense, man, it is anemic. When it comes to, play calling, this might be the worst offense in the league. Kenny Pickett's not gotten off to a great start. Again, he's only had one full start, enters against a Bills defense, so I really don't think you can judge him based off of that game. We always hear about these wide receivers and how good this wide receiver room is, but they probably are, but that offensive coordinator needs to go. O-line's still shit. Najee is looking like a bust. He was coming in the season with high expectations and just hasn't really shown that. I think in that Bills loss here is averaging under 2 yards per carry, which is abysmal. And this team, looking rough. The defense is can't get any pressure without TJ Watt. Really missing him on that side of the ball. Again, just bad start for the Steelers. Pretty much knocked out of the AFC playoff picture for the time being. Moving up to 24. is the Seattle Seahawks. Uh, they could very much be higher. I just don't believe in Pete Carroll, personally. Geno Smith playing his ass off. Probably one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league. This team's putting up like weird offensive numbers. I think the reason I have them lower than other people have them is Rashad Penny getting injured. He's out for the season. That's really going to negatively affect the team, I think. And O-line still bad, defense still bad. And I think the more Geno is forced to use his arm, I think the more problems this team is going to run into. All right, coming in at 23, you got the New York Jets. They've been playing well. They're not gonna lie, they're 3-2 somehow. Started off with this season with like 2 games under Joe Flacco, which say what you want about them. They got them a win. I believe they've won against the Browns. I think it's Browns, Dolphins, Steelers, or maybe Patriots, or not Patriots, Bengals. Their wins have come against good teams, teams who should be much better than them, but they've been gritty. Sauce Gardner has been playing excellent. I've liked what I've seen now of Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson. This team is going places. And Jesus Christ, my dog just gone crazy. And they definitely are playing hard for Robert Saleh. I think this team kind of reminds me of like the Jacksonville Jaguars, just one step down, in where both these teams, they're kind of a little bit ahead of the rebuild. You know, they're both 3-2, when people still expected them to be bottom 5 in the league. And I like what I've seen out of the Jets this season, but still, I don't expect them to be making the playoffs. And rounding out they're bad. Oh my god, I just realized I said bad. Bass. Fuck. We got the Indianapolis Colts. Quite frankly, I just don't like this football team. I think Matt Ryan has a noodle arm now. The offensive line isn't playing as well as it used to. This defense isn't playing as well as it's used to. And Jonathan Taylor isn't. He's still a very good running back, obviously. Probably still top 10, but he's not having that monster season that almost single-handedly carried the Colts to the playoffs last year. They're not. I don't expect them to, rush for 1,800 yards a season. You shouldn't need your running back to do that to make a push. And quarterback carousel looks like it's going to keep on chugging along. Matt Ryan doesn't seem like the guy, and the Colts are just a broken organization right now. Is what the 3rd season where they've severely disappointed. The last season was with the loss to the Jaguars, falling out of the playoffs. Season before that wasn't necessarily disappointed, but they had a solid team. Lost wild card to the Bills. This is definitely a team that we originally thought was, they're just an easy early round knockout. Now, I think we all just see them as not even going to make the playoffs. Moving up from the they're bad to are they bad? We got some teams that they're looking a bit rough. Coming at 21 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now again, they are much better than we thought they were going to be. Still not great. Exposed in the rain game against Philly. Losing to the Texans really sucked a lot of momentum out of them, but Trevor Lawrence has been playing solid. You can definitely tell the leaps he's made, And this team has some pieces. Josh Allen on defense, especially. But I think I'm not going to put a lot of their early success on luck. But, they beat the Colts all the time. So are we that surprised they did it again? I think they're going to beat them again this week. Still the Jaguars, but better than we all thought they would. 20, right? Yep, 20. I got the New Orleans Saints. Quarterback, definitely still the issue with this team. Because outside of that, they should be a solid wildcard team. Alvin Kamara still chugging along. Chris Olave and Michael Thomas make for a great, and Jarvis Landry make for a great receiving trio. The defense definitely isn't as good as last season. There's some key losses to the secondary. I think Tyrann Mathieu is probably a step down from Marcus Williams. But still one of the better defenses in the league, I would say, and well coached. This is one of those teams where they can possibly beat some really strong playoff teams, but they could also lose to any team in the NFL just randomly. They could lose to the Jets, they could lose to Washington or the Falcons. Hell, they did lose to the Falcons, I think. Or no, it was the Panthers, which was even worse. So definitely need to see more consistency on both sides of the ball, playing through a whole game. I mean, they lost on a missed field goal in London, so maybe not a playoff team, but definitely not one of the worst in the league. Coming in at 19, the Arizona Cardinals. Same Cardinals we've known. Kyler Murray trying to single-handedly drag his team to victory, and a terrible Cliff Kingsbury offense and a terrible defense. Nothing really new with them. Their games were fun. They're fun to watch, but not playing great football. 18, and rounding out the end of this tier, is the Denver Broncos. How do you discuss the Denver Broncos? I don't know how. This team is rough, and they had heavy expectations to be a lot better. I thought they might have won the division or before the season started. The defense is great. That I'll stand by. The defense is single-handedly keeping the team in it, but that offense, man, it's slow and it's stagnant, and it feels like Russell Wilson is not playing like Russell Wilson. Still not 100% sure whether it's him or just he's not clicking with the offense. And Nathaniel Hackett, I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the next to go, even though he is still in his first year. Heavy expectations, and I think they're 2-3. Yeah, 2-3. That's not good. Moving up to a tier that I called the Cardinals, because when you think of the Cardinals organization, you think of mid. These are the mid teams. We're out of the underwhelming tier, and we're just into straight mediocrity. At number 17, Las Vegas Raiders. I have them above the Broncos because all of their losses have been extremely close, and simply I've seen more that I like about the Raiders. Defense definitely isn't great, can definitely improve, especially in that secondary. But Crosby playing as great as ever, constantly getting pressures, getting after the quarterback. He is genuinely playing at a Pro Bowl status this season, so that's great to see. Derek Carr in this passing offense, not great. You're not going to win off the arm of Derek Carr, but I'd also argue you're not going to lose off of it. Devontae Adams is still one of the best receivers in the league. But again, this one comes down to coaching. Their refusal to run the ball when Josh Jacobs has been executing it great throughout the entire season is really holding them back. I don't think I see this team making the playoffs. I think there's too many more well-coached, more balanced teams than the Raiders. 16 made the halfway point, barely. The Cleveland Browns. Considering their strategy is to just tread water till Deshaun Watson comes around, they've been doing that pretty well. 3-2. Lost to the Jets, which is ugly. Jacoby Brissett, he's not great. He's a decent game manager, a decent high-end backup. But Nick Chubb is having a monster year. That defense is still solid, if I think has taken a step back. I think this team will make the playoffs. I don't know how much adding a Deshaun Watson will really add to this team. That it will definitely add to the offense, but I mean, again, flip a coin. This team could be bottom 10 one week, and then top 10 the next week. Definition of the Arizona Cardinals. Number 15, Green Bay Packers. Again, I don't know what's going on with the coaching. Run the damn ball. A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones are playing their asses off, and they're only getting like eight carries a game apiece. Aaron Rodgers still playing well, not playing MVP level, but he's playing a lot of hero ball, which I think is one of this team's strong weaknesses. But the defense, which kind of been underwhelming all season, getting their ass whooped by the Vikings, letting the Giants come back on them. This defense shows flashes, but in the end kind of falls flat. At this point, I don't see them winning their division. I see the Vikings taking it, but I still think this is probably the first playoff team of the bunch this season. And rounding out this tier, at number 14 is the Super Bowl defending champs, LA Rams. This offensive line has taken a massive hit this season with the retirement of Whitworth. And it's giving Matt Stafford a lot less time in the pocket, and he's making a hell of a lot more mistakes. Haven't figured out how to get Allen Robinson going. I still have this team in the top 15 just solely based off of that defense. Is still playing great. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner hasn't been like Pro Bowl level, but he's still been a solid piece. Leonard Floyd. This defense hasn't missed a beat this season, but that offense definitely has, and the Super Bowl hangover is definitely striking this team hard. But they have some easy games coming up with the Panthers this week. So I think they'll be fine. I hope they'll be fine, but I'm not fully confident in the LA Rams. Moving up, shit, are they good? Finally, some good NFL teams. Number 13, Cincinnati Bengals. Don't let the record fool you. This is a decent, solid club with a bunch of great pieces on both offense and defense. Of course, still that O-line, it's been hit or miss. The first 3 weeks were rough, but and the game against the Ravens was, I think it was the first 2 games, and then the next 2 games were fine, and then the Ravens game, they were back to struggling. Joe Burrow still one of the better quarterbacks in the league, definitely top 10. T. Higgins didn't play in that Baltimore game too much, but still one of the best receivers. Jamar Chase hasn't been that monster second year that we thought he was going to have, but he's still playing at a high level. On the defense, Hendrickson and Lawson and Von Bell and Jesse Bates. People sleep on that safety duo. I do think their cornerbacks kind of suck, But again, the main problem with this team comes back down to coaching. They called a Philly special on the goal line, and it ended horribly. And then followed it up with like a inside pitch pass to like a tight end, and again, just failure. um, so they're number 13. Number 12, Miami Dolphins. They're trying to murder Tua. Jesus. But I really like the head coach. I like this is a fun team with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill being the best receiver duo in the league. If they're not playing third string guys, then I think they're good. I think they're definitely a playoff team. Defense hasn't been particularly spectacular, but they've been solid. They've done enough. That's what the Dolphins have done. Whether they need their defense to step up in like the New England game or the Buffalo game, or they need an offensive shootout like in the Ravens game, they've done enough. So yeah, just outside the top 10. Number 11, Minnesota Vikings. Still not sure if I'm 100% on this team. They still might be a little bit fraudulent, but 4-1 record doesn't lie. So far, this team's been playing solid. Kirk Cousins having a Kirk Cousins year, but he's not fucking up as much as we thought he was. I guess that's what happens when you don't really have too many primetime games. This defense, I'm not a big fan of still, but Justin Jefferson, he's just on a completely different level from everybody else, aside maybe Cooper Kupp. Just outstanding, playing team on his back. Dalvin Cook is also great. This offense is very fun to watch, but they can't play full 4 quarters. Letting teams like the Bears and Lions bounce back. Rough. Top 10 time, New York Giants. Again, amazingly well-coached team. Great defense. Saquon is back to being an elite level running back, which I think we're all happy about. Because we all like Saquon, and we all want him to get healthy. And he's back. So that's very cool. I think the problem with the team still just comes down to Daniel Jones. He gets the job done when he's asked to, but I still don't think you're really going to win off of the arm of Daniel Jones. And also the receiving core is probably one of the weakest in the NFL. Not too big of a fan of the secondary of the Giants. Lost James Bradbury, that'll do it. But still playing just very good football. Number 9, Tennessee Titans, another very well-coached team. They also got Derrick Henry, so that really does help. Nothing else to really say. Same old Titans. Out of all teams in the NFL, they play the full 4 quarters of football. So that might be dangerous come January with some of these teams that are have a higher ceiling, but sometimes are pretty hit or miss. Going into next year, we got the going for it teams. These are teams that everyone from now on, the last 8 teams, I can comfortably say I could see them winning Super Bowl. Starting off with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's fun seeing Tom Brady not have elite wide receivers and an elite O-line and an elite defense. Now he just has decent wide receivers, a bad O-line, and a decent to very good defense. He's not. Tom Brady kind of sucks this year, and I'm tired of pretending like he doesn't. Don't send out your 45-year-old old man to throw 50 times in a game. Should have lost to the Falcons. Got their ass handed to them by the Chiefs. So it's just been rough. but they're still winning games. Still should win their division. But I might actually move them down a tier, but keep the same positioning. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Next up, Chargers. Brandon Staley is such a bad head coach, but Justin Herbert is such a good quarterback. You know, made two of the biggest signings in the offseason between J.C. Jackson and Khalil Mack. They've both been playing quite well, definitely adding to his defense. But Joey Bosa being out is a real hitter, is a real just hit for this team. Keenan Allen's also been injured. Sean Slater, their second year great left tackle, I think is out all season. So team's starting to fall apart, but for now they're still playing well, still keeping it close. A lot of shootouts. They're a fun team to watch. I do like the Chargers quite a bit. Moving to number 6, Dallas Cowboys. Uh, Cowboys, they've outproven all of our expectations. We really all thought that they were going to take a big step back. Dak being out for those couple games, we all, thought season was over, but now they've been playing damn well, mostly off that defense. Like, the rushing game is solid, but the offense in general is kind of just below average, but that defense is elite. Micah Parsons, man, he's just on another level. All right, number 5, Baltimore Ravens. Lamar's playing like an MVP. Coaching is still questionable. Offensive line is a hell of a lot better. Getting J.K. Dobbins back into the rushing game. Big seasons out of Robinson, Bateman when he's healthy, and of course Andrews. And then on this defense, really picked it up the past 2 weeks, holding both Joe Burrow and Josh Allen to under 300 yards passing is a pretty good stat. I think they were also both below 250. Ball hawking secondary. Marcus Williams being out for most of the season is a big hit, but still, Marcus Peters playing his ass off. Marlon Humphrey's great. I like Rice Seattle. The Ravens still got the best kicker in the NFL. Whether or not they can play a full 4 quarters of football has yet to be seen, but I don't think you can ever truly count this team out. Number 4, San Francisco 49ers. We know what they're about. We've known that for a couple of years now. Okay, Jimmy G, say what you want, he wins football games. Okay? I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback, but I think it's a lot of unwarranted disrespect. He wins games. Deebo Samuel's still great. Rushing attack is great. Defense is playing solid. Kyle Shanahan might be my favorite head coach in the league. And yeah, they're still Super Bowl contenders. 2 of the past 3 years, they've made it to at least the NFC Championship, and they're still pretty much the same team they were before. Here are the big 3. Number 3 is actually going to be the Chiefs. Mahomes, nothing to say there. The only thing I'm down on with the Chiefs is definitely their defense. It's not terrible, but it's not the best, and that might hold them back against number 2, the Eagles. I'm just going to put up number 1, the Bills, because I think these 2 teams are very similar. I think it just comes down to I like Josh Allen more than Jalen Hurts at this point in time, and they're a more experienced team. Eagles, they both have very fun, exciting, great young quarterbacks. I know I just said Josh Allen is better, but Jalen Hurts is still very good. An amazing. Well, Eagles have a much better rushing game. Bills this season just can't get it going with their running backs, which might be their main flaw. Wide receivers, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Isaiah McKenzie. No, that's there's another guy for the Bills from freaking. And then on the other side, A.J. Brown has brought a lot out of this offense, and Devontae Smith is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the league this year. Elite defenses, elite secondaries, both of them, great pass rushes. These teams are easily the best two in the league. So there's my power rankings. My voice is dead. I hope you enjoyed. I'll probably do these in a couple weeks' time, maybe around the halfway mark, and see you guys later.